Hey guys, Mr. Right here from the Buck Zone. Some more draft stuff. I got a lot of different topics and I kind of wanted to break them up into different videos. So this is going to be the one on A-a-ron Rodgers and Green Bay. And wow, what an absolute horror show. I don't want to not like the Packers, but I kind of don't like the Packers. It goes back to our old NFC Central days. You know, they were one of our teams that was our big rival in division. When we got our good defense, it was us and Green Bay. We were constantly going back and forth. We would bloody them up. They would bloody us up. But before that, it was, you know, they just owned us. Before we got good, they would just beat us. And it was so frustrating because it was that kind of a division rival. And so I've kind of held on to a little bit of it. Now, granted, it's not like it was back when we had the NFC Central, but if bad things happen to Green Bay, you're not going to catch any complaints from me. So, Green Bay and A-a-ron Rodgers. A-a-ron Rodgers is in a super elite category kind of quarterback. You know, like he's one of the top shelf guys of all time. Like you get him, you look at him play out on the field during the regular season. You see him play on the field. He looks like the GOAT is supposed to look. Amazing throws, great arm, you know, just impressive stuff. Impressive stuff. Minus, of course, his one flaw, which is has a hard time coming from behind, but can fold like a lawn chair. But okay. But when he's on his game, man, he just makes it look so easy, you know? And so you've got one of these kind of guys. And you're not going to help him out. And so you're always going to play it safe. You're going to get the safe picks. And you're going to make sure you have the proper depth on the rest of your team and blah 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 blah. And you're going to and then you put yourself, like, this is what's happened over the past, you know, decade with Green Bay. They had him on his first contract where he didn't have to make a whole lot of money, didn't have to pay him. It was good. So they had a lot of talent around him. Now, some of that talent was left over from the Brett Favre days and the Mike Holmgren days. But they all aged out, especially by the time you got 4 years into A-a-ron Rodgers' career. So anyway, you've got A-a-ron Rodgers. He basically takes over a Brett Favre team, does Brett Favre things, minus some of the interceptions, because A-a-ron Rodgers doesn't throw many interceptions. Comes out, guns blazing, amazing guy. You know he's got the talent. You know he's got the skill. But this is before he has to have a big contract. So once he starts getting a big contract, now it's a war of attrition. Now it's a war of attrition. And the players start whittling out. And so you're basically spending your drafts reconstituting the roster. Because you're paying the big quarterback, you're not going out into free agency and doing a whole bunch of things. You're really good at developing offensive line players, which, you know, I'll give Green Bay that. Like in the past, they've been amazing at drafting offensive line and then turning into like all pros and Pro Bowlers. Like they've been amazing at that. So anyway, but you're not getting your quarterback, the guy running your team on the field, you're not getting him any help. And now you're doing what you're doing now, which is you're spitting in his face. This would be year number 2, you've spit in his face. Before, the disagreements were probably behind closed doors because you weren't helping him in the drafts. You weren't getting him a whole bunch of weapons. You were getting him weapons later in the draft. Like, okay, we'll get this guy. Okay, we'll get Devontae Adams, I think, in the 2nd round or 3rd round or whatever the hell it was. Like, okay, we'll we'll get him some help here. And it's not been anything significant, with probably the exception of Devontae Adams. I mean, that was kind of worked out. I'll give you that one. But you haven't been too supportive of the guy, and it's taken its toll. And so before, it was behind closed doors. You were trying to get things. I mean, hell, you went and got a new head coach. You fired a head coach for A-a-ron Rodgers. Now, I guess you didn't want his ego to get too big. I'm sorry, it's A-a-ron Rodgers. He's a quarterback. They all have massive egos, and you just did what he wanted. You got Mike McCarthy fired. Or, you know, you fired Mike McCarthy for him. Okay. And then you go out and you hire a decent head coach, a smart guy, offensively smart. First year in the system, did about the same as Mike McCarthy did with A-a-ron Rodgers. Hey, whatever. But then you go and you draft a quarterback. Like, what? You draft a quarterback in the first round. You draft his replacement. You're saying to him, you're old news. You're not worth it. Of course, this pisses him off. He gets a chip on his shoulder, comes back, has the year that he just had, an MVP season, 48 freaking touchdowns. It hasn't happened very many times. You know, has an MVP season, and what do? You piss him off again. Like, you try to keep him, you're trying to keep him on the team, but not let his quote-unquote head get too big. It's A-a-ron Rodgers. His head's already big. He's watching what Tom Brady's doing down here in Tampa. Like, are you kidding me? Green Bay, you're messing it up because you're trying to play it safe. You're not going to be able to play it safe forever. You've got to make some moves. Other teams are making moves, and you're not. You're trying to play it safe, and you're trying to make a marriage work that has been going off the rails for a few years now. It's over. It's over. Let him go. Trade him to somebody. Get a 2022 pick. Get a pick in next year's draft. Apparently, those picks are like gold. Oh, and by the way, try not to go too much. He's at the tail end of his career. Not every quarterback is going to last until the age of 45 like Tom Brady. Like, let's be real here. He's already had 2 shoulder injuries, I think. Like, he's at the end. Get a first-round pick for him. You can still get a first-round pick for him. Don't try to get 2 or 3. Maybe 2. I could possibly see 2, but that's a lot. That's a lot for a guy who's only going to be in the league for another 3-4 years. Max. But you're going to try and play it safe. You don't want to trade him. Okay. But I tell you what, you guys are sucking up all the news. Green Bay and A-a-ron Rodgers, you guys are going to be in the news for the next little bit. It's going to be fun. So anyway, there you have it, guys. I think this whole thing is just wildly entertaining, and it's happening to a team that I kind of don't care for. Now, granted, I do like them a lot better than I did in the past, but that's not saying much because I really hated them in the past. Anyway, guys, till next time.